Good morning, Suzy, all from Unique Ladies.
Morning, Julie O'Hara Gradwell.
How are you this morning?
I'm good.
Good. Just a few questions really for you that I'm sure quite a lot of people would like to know and hear from you, the lady yourself. Why are you finding it so funny? Look, I've just taken the place of Piers Morgan. You don't know how lucky you are.
I do know I'm
Do you?
extremely
do
lucky.
you?
Yes.
I hope you do.
I
hope you do.
I'm lucky, Suzy.
What basically, I've got a few questions here, so I'm going to be reading off my little pad here. But what made you start a women's only networking? Why women only?
Well, I spent almost 30 years working in IT and telecom, so a very male-dominated industry, and loved it, enjoyed what I did, but got to a stage just before I was 50 where I became, the word I used was disenchanted with the whole thing. And one of the things I was disenchanted with was that I'd go to networking events and you'd have to sort of conform and do it in a manly way. Men still talk at you. We're very different, basically.
Yeah,
it's not about, we at Unique Ladies, we don't slate men or anything like that. We embrace the difference. And I just felt that I was talking to women that didn't like networking, and the reason they didn't like it was that they weren't confident, and they'd been taught down by men because you're just a woman and your job's not that important. Yeah. So I felt very strongly that we needed a place where women can go and get a safe platform so they can learn to speak at the front of people for want of a better explanation, but also just network as women. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter that you're a woman.
Okay, so basically you wanted to put something out there for women to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And to be able to, if they'd set their business up, to be able to talk about their business and hopefully do more business.
Yeah, and women do it differently. So I mean, we might go into a network and we'll talk shoes and handbags because that's what we do.
Yeah.
But actually all of the groups and the success of the groups is down to the fact there's a lot of business done, and we do it in a really nice, we do it in a kind way, we do it in a very feminine way, I guess, but we do a lot of business.
Great. Do you feel that you are getting away with doing just women only? Are you getting any backlash? Are you getting any guys that are saying, only women only allowed?
It's interesting because we can do it because women in business is still a minority.
Yeah.
So legally, it's absolutely fine to do a women only business network. When I first started, I had, interestingly, 2 women who said to me, "Oh no, I'm not going to get involved with that. You're taking us back years." Right. One of them now is an absolute regular, has spoken at our events, and actually said to me, "I get it, Suzy, I get what you're doing." The other one I've never sort of seen since, which is fine. I have a lot of men who I know through business networking who say, "When can I come? Can I put a dress on? Can I come?" And obviously you and I have done a couple of mixed events before, so I think there's still a need. There are men out there who get it.
Yeah.
And I think there is a need, and probably we might do a quarterly one again where we do a mixed session so that the men can come without wearing frocks.
I don't know, could be fun.
Could be fun.
Tutus and handbags maybe. So in your words and your thoughts, what makes Unique Ladies so different than all the other networks that are out there? There are other networks out there that are for women only as such, and the mixed ones like we've just talked about now. But what, in your mind or your thought process, makes Unique Ladies that different than all the others?
Okay. There are a couple of things. First of all, for me, it was never about the money. I did it because I felt there was a need for doing it. So I only ever wanted to recoup costs. So it's a £20 pay as you go. That's not changed in 2 years. There's no hefty membership fee, and a lot of other places you can go for a couple of weeks and then they charge you for everything. They charge you for putting your banner up. We don't do that. We encourage all the women to come along, to bring the banners, to bring the literature, to really work with each other and enjoy what each other does, and celebrate that you're being successful or you're starting or whatever level you are in business. So it's very inclusive. We don't restrict people, so we don't just have one solicitor. A lot of other networks, if you've got one business sector in, that's it. Instead of that, we do a table plan. So if we have half a dozen solicitors, there'll be 6 tables, each with a solicitor on. But also, we encourage collaboration. Because just because you're 2 solicitors from different firms doesn't mean you're not going to, people don't always get on with one particular solicitor. So we encourage collaboration no matter what your business is, and that works as well. Because I know a lot of other people sort of shy, oh gosh, they're in the same industry, let's separate them. I completely disagree with that. Yeah, I'm like, work together, and you get respect for each other. We're women, we do it differently, we really do. The other thing, so as soon as you've been to a Unique Ladies, you're a member, and that membership entitles you to join our Facebook groups, which are all private groups, but each individual franchise now has their own private group, and again on that group you can share your own offers, your events, things like that, and we encourage you to do that all the time. And the other thing that I did when I started off, the format of the day is always the same. I've been to a couple of networks where women had to stand up, or men for that matter, had to stand up and address the room. Okay, and not everybody can. No. And I remember sitting at one particular one, and the lady at the front her hands were going, and I just thought it was cruel. We're not all, everybody gets nervous at different things. I don't particularly anymore because I've done it for that long. But I understand that people do. So for me, the only it's a nice supportive way. We have tables that have probably on average about 7 ladies on. So you've only got another 6 to address really, and that works. And we mix that up. So the month after we've mixed the table up, so you're not just sitting with the same women. Yeah. And that helps in the way that you're building your network as well. You're getting to know those women a little bit better.
Great. So basically there's no tie-in, is there, with Unique Ladies? No. You're not tied in to come to every single meeting. No. You're not tied to go to every single area that you go to. You can just dip in when you want to each and every area. Yeah. And again, for me, it's got to be something that's cost effective.
Yeah, absolutely. Any network you can pay a fortune to, and if you don't get anything back, if you're not measuring what you're doing, it's pointless. With our groups, so we've got 13 now across the Northwest, or we will have when they launch in sort of January,
You're jumping my questions here.
So, I'm sorry. Did I have to wait?
You've got to wait.
Okay. We've got quite a few now across the Northwest, and you can dip in and dip out. Pay as you go. So if you're not going, you don't have to pay.
Okay. And is it pay on the door or?
We ask people, because we do a table plan. We ask everybody to book through the website, through Eventbrite, through the ticketing service, simply so we know how many's coming and we can organise a table plan effectively. Right, okay. So if you turn up on the door, you'll be sort of put on a table that's got the fewer people on. Yeah. It might not be the best table for you, dependent on what it is that you do.
So always book on.
Always book on, yeah.
Perfect. So my next question, Suzy, I know you've more or less answered it. Basically, is how many franchise do you currently have?
Oh well, you'd be surprised to know. 13 as of now, as of November. So the idea to franchise came in. Well, I started in January. It came this time last year when I was running 4 groups and didn't feel that I was giving a couple of them the attention that they needed. They needed a little bit more, people to be in the towns and doing a bit more networking with them. So I decided I would see if I could hand over my baby, and I could. I did it quite easily, and it worked. So I then threw some money at it, spoke to a solicitor, got some franchise advice, got proper contracts drawn up, and then pushed it through the network, and really quickly 3 hands went up from within the existing network. I'd like one, I'd like one, I'd like one. So the first 3 were Stockport, Wigan and Hyndburn, and that was really exciting actually then working with a team, because I got the other 2 that I'd sort of used as my guinea pigs. So all of a sudden I had 5 ladies that were working with me to sort of grow this thing. So that was interesting. That's been an interesting journey. Right. And all the women are they're all unique. They're all very, very different. All the groups are very different. The venues are very different. But the brilliant thing is every single one of them has got that same excellent female energy going on, and the networking is just, the groups are just growing within themselves. So they start off with, sort of 20 ladies in a room, and then, within 12 months, or within, what are we now, September, 3 months, we're heading towards 30 for each of them, except for my Chorley one. Which is
here we go.
There's a challenge out there. So when I launched the Chorley on my hometown, we had 51 ladies.
I know,
in the room.
it was absolutely amazing. It was amazing.
And then the second one, there were 34. So straight away,
the growth there.
The camaraderie actually within Chorley has been brilliant. So on our Facebook groups, we've all sorts of deals going on, offers. People just opening themselves up, saying,
which is great,
which is brilliant. That's.
And what's good, I think, also is that the ladies who've taken the franchise have been your original unique ladies, haven't they? So they understand it.
Yeah.
They've worked with it, and they're fully grasping hold of the concept.
Yeah.
Which is great. But obviously they're working to a kind of plateau of what you want them to continue with. So every group remains the same.
Yeah.
So they're all working in the same kind of uniform.
Yeah. So the contracts that they sign, the handbook that's in there, has all that information in. So excuse me, the way that they're run is exactly the same.
Right.
So we always have our general networking first of all, and we have a 10-minute educational piece where we invite anyone who's got a ticket and is coming to the group to stand up and share something with us. Now, it can be just about their business, it can be about a hobby they've got, it can be something really factual that would be useful. We had a lady in Wigan, Aisha, the other day did wills and probate and that type of thing.
Yeah.
So it's something that's useful to the room.
Informative then.
Yeah. And then we do the round the table networking, and then we have our inspirational lady speaker right at the end. So we always finish on a bit of a on a high. Yeah.
Great stuff. So then the question is, what's the plans for growth from next year then, 2019?
So I actually, on the 31st of January this year, I did a planning day with a local lady who's a coach, and I'd already got this idea for franchising, so I thought, right, I've got 4 now, I'll aim to get 8 by the end of the year. So far exceeded anything there, yeah. So I think now I'm at 13. I'd like to get to 20 by the end of next year, but I think I'm going to smash it.
Yeah.
I think I'm quietly confident.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so
brilliant.
That would be brilliant.
So the ladies that come, just for everybody else's thought process, and would I fit in there, the ladies that do actually come to the Unique Ladies, what kind of people are they? Are they all very confident? Are they all high business? Are they all, what kind of people come in?
Wow, we have a real mixture of ladies. We have some that are not confident at all, that have phoned me beforehand and said, I'm really struggling, and I just say, come along, you'll be looked after, it's a safe environment, you don't have to stand up and sort of, shout about what you do, it's done in a comfortable way. We have very confident ladies that come in and, like you, that just come in and actually network like it's what they were going to do. Every single woman though is unique, I guess, and always very supportive. And it's cool to be kind, isn't it? I always say let's do business in a kind way, because you don't know what's going on in someone's life. So that's why we always do a nice welcome. So when women come to our group, particularly if they've not been before, when we check them in, we'll always introduce them to someone. We don't have any of these situations
where you're stood alone.
Miss Wallflower, like, please come and someone come and speak to me. We don't do that. You're introduced to somebody straight away, and and there you go. We tend to follow it up with a call as well, conversation, encourage the ladies to get coffee with a couple of other ladies that are there. Don't try and eat the whole elephant, just have a couple and follow it up. And then when they come next month, they'll know somebody, they'll know at least one or two.
And the comfort zone's there then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is nice.
It is. But in terms of businesses as well, so we have a whole range. We have ladies that come that represent corporate businesses, solicitors, accountants, etc. We have ladies that work on their own, that may be an accountant, a bookkeeper, that come for that camaraderie. And that's one of the things that I think when I first started this, I hadn't realised how businesses has changed. There's a lot of women working at home alone, and it can get quite, I mean, I work at home on my own sometimes, and it can get quite lonely.
Yeah.
So, you know, we have a whole load of ladies, graphic designers, some multi-level marketing ladies, personal trainers, that type of thing, where they're on their own and they just need an outlet. They just need to come and have a table of women that they can talk to. So, yeah, it's a real...
It's like work buddies for them, isn't it? At the end of the day, everybody needs something. And I think a lot of the time, like yourself and myself, people say, oh, well, you've been in sales for so many years. And so you're confident in going to these networking groups. And as you've said, no, I've not always been confident going to a male predominant kind of industry of networking. You know, you do walk in there and think, I'm that wallflower stood up against the wall. And it is difficult, where I think that you've grasped the right concept with the welcome that they get, the introductions they get to other ladies, and that is so hugely important to women who have taken the plunge to set up their own business, and they are on their own. It's that support that they need. How important to a business do you think networking actually is? So if you've got a small business, medium business, you're a solicitor, you've just started out on your own, how important is it?
I think it's extremely important.
For what reasons?
I think in order to solidify really good relationships, be it from suppliers or what's the other word, for sales even, you've got to get to know the people. You know, we've come a long way, haven't we, where you could, you know, do telesales. We both worked in telesales. At one time, that was a fashion, wasn't it? Whereas now people, I think, have come full circle, and it's nice to get that customer service, to build that relationship up. So it doesn't matter what your business is. You know, the best way to get business is to get a recommendation, isn't it? If you've had a really good service from whoever it might be, you'd recommend that, and that helps. Now, networking, I guess in some ways, is speeding up that service, that recommendation thing, because you're getting to know people, you're hearing of their recommendations. So for anyone in business, I mean, when you start in a business, it's key to do it with the right network. So, you know, go and have a look at a few, and you'll find one where you're comfortable and you get business from. You know, you'll learn how to do it, and you'll also learn that you can't just go to a network and gather a bunch of cards and get business
and not go again.
Because it doesn't work like that. The networking is all about getting to know people, getting to, if you know them and you like them, you're going to do business with them. It's as simple as that, really. So you can't just go and network and assume you'll get business on the back of it. It's building that relationship. So it's a bit of a long burn thing, but
I think that's important, that, you know, these people that you meet, and you may feel that, right, I'm going to go to Unique Ladies and I'm going to sit there and, I sat with 3 of these ladies last time, and why am I sat with these 3 ladies again? I'm not sat with another 10 or whatever that become my next clients to be. I think the most important thing that you do, and for people to remember, is that when you come to those networkings and you're sitting with that same person for the second, maybe the third time, that relationship builds. I know that from my own point of view. What's happened with me by attending the Unique Ladies networkings, that it has grown the relationship. When people then start to get to know you, feel comfortable with you, that's when they like to do business with you, and that's where I think it succeeds, and possibly people will feel more comfortable more often that they come. Especially ladies who have got new businesses. And it's great. It's just great to get that support there, isn't it?
And I guess with new business as well, there's a lot going on. You're very nervous about it, but you pick up lots of other snippets. So the women are very, very kind and very, you know, caring and sharing. So one of the things I've noticed, that you'll have new businesses come and there'll be a bit of an issue, and it's something we've done around the table as well. Have you got any business issues that you'd like to sort of share with the rest of the ladies on the table? You'll guarantee someone on that table will have had that same issue and will have got a solution for it, and will be able to put you in touch. So there's a lot of stuff like that goes on as well. And
that's where the support comes, isn't it? It's a real supportive group wherever you are with them.
Absolutely. And long may it continue. And again, it's you know, you're still paying your £20 a ticket, but that's just, you're getting so much support from it, from everybody else. So I love it.
The next question. As a business owner, okay, like myself or the ladies that you know, when is the best time to start networking? As soon as you start your business, after a few months, maybe after a year, or when all your leads have dried up, or when you've got no more contacts and you think, oh, crikey, where am I going next? When's the best time?
All the time. If you're a business owner, even before you start your business, I'd get out there and start networking just to suss out if your business idea is maybe a good idea, if there's competition out there. Just go and, come in and talk to the ladies and they'll tell you. I know people get busy, and that's the great, we do have a lot of women, I'm sorry, I've not been because I've been so busy, and it's brilliant because that's what it's all about. But what I would say is, don't get too busy to network, because actually the ones that have come back after maybe missing a couple of months or something, I always get the same thing. I've forgotten how much I enjoyed it. I'm so glad I've come. I'm going to put it in my diary again.
Yeah.
Because it's so much more than the business networking. It ends up, it's very uplifting. It's very uplifting. As I said before, there's a lot of camaraderie there. So from a business owner's point of view, I would say it's one Friday a month. But I'm saying it's one Friday. We actually have them on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays and Fridays.
Yeah. So they can fit in with your diary.
So they can fit in, and we're across the northwest. So you might have to, it might not be local to your town, but actually there's going to be one within sort of 20 minutes in a car.
Yeah.
So I would try and commit to one a month. Doesn't matter which one it is.
Yeah.
It's better if it's the same one, because that's how you build a relationship, and then maybe dip into, the one next door or wherever. But I would get them in your diary for the whole year and commit to it, because not just about getting the business, but getting those relationships and getting that real nice empowering feeling that you get from them. And this is the feedback I've had from other women. It's lovely to get that. I was coming to you this morning, Suzy, and I felt this, and I wasn't going to come, and I'm so glad I came, because this and this has happened. And the great thing for me now is that used to happen with me at my 4. Now I've got 13, and I can see the ladies that are running it having those same conversations. Yeah. And that ripple effect is just fantastic.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So, yeah, it's been really rewarding in a really in a way that I never thought it would be. It's brilliant.
Because this time last year, were you considering doing franchising?
It was this time last year that it actually occurred to me. I was actually thinking of cutting 2 of my networks and doing them alternate months, because I didn't have I just hadn't got the time to do it. So it was part of my thought process. I'm so glad that I opted for the franchise thing, and gave a couple away and had my guinea pigs in place and went through that process. Yeah. It was interesting, but boy, it was worth the investment. And it was an investment of time and effort and everything.
And without the 2 original franchisees who, they started off, you wouldn't have been able to expand it, you wouldn't have known what was happening, you wouldn't have known if it would have worked.
No.
And that was great that, you jumped on board. It was probably this time last year, wasn't it? That it was kind of like the decision was made, and there you go.
Yeah, it was, I think it was early December. It was about this sort of time. Yeah. And, from nothing. And it was difficult handing your baby over. Mm. And there were all sorts of ideas, thoughts that, ran through my head. But actually, it worked.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, we wouldn't be where we are today if it wasn't for Melanie and Sarah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, absolutely. And the girls have done a great job. So we've got nice, happy, smiling faces now. Moving on to my next question, Suzy. What makes a great networker? Who makes a great networker work?
Networker? Anyone can make a great networker, because you're going to promote your business. So you're the best person to promote your business, because you know everything about it, don't you? So I would just say anybody can be a great networker. There are certain things that you have to be aware of when you're networking, like don't go and sell. Don't just go in and start selling to people. That's not what we do. When I worked in corporate, I went to an event, and I got back. It was a brilliant event, lots of opportunities, and my sales director at the time just said, "How was the event this morning?" I said, "It was brilliant. What have you sold?" And I just rolled my eyes, and I just thought, oh, that's when I knew I needed to leave, I think. But yeah, it's not about selling.
Yeah.
So a great networker is someone who is interested in other people. So someone that will listen. Someone who has business cards that say what they do on the tin. So, obviously you go and hand your cards out and collect cards. But someone actually who follows up. So if you met someone in an event, I always say, I think I said earlier, don't try and eat the whole room. Just if you make a couple of good contacts and actually grab a coffee with them, get to know them, that's how it works. It's actually, not trying to just give your cards out to everyone or collect cards. It's not about collecting cards, which a lot of people think it is. It isn't. It's about actually making some good business relationships.
Yeah. And growing, isn't it? And just growing that relationship.
Yeah. So people who follow up, connect on social media and things like that afterwards, and then turn up at the next one and remember, what you talked about and
who you've met.
Yeah, it's like building a relationship in any walk of life.
Of course it is. So my final question for the day is where and how I learn how to network.
Okay, well, you can come and learn at Unique Ladies. So I've actually done a couple of workshops, and I'll be doing a couple more next year. We can do small groups, we can do one-to-ones, and run through key facts that you might need to know about networking. Right. Work with people to build an elevator pitch, so people, everybody assumes that they've got to do an elevator pitch, and an elevator pitch for people who don't know is that 2 minutes you have when you get in a lift to go up to the 10th floor, where you've got 2 minutes to tell somebody what you do. So it's getting, in a nice succinct way, an idea of what your business is. We can work with things like that. Anybody can contact me and I can show them how to network if they don't already know, and then send them off into the big wild networking
Absolutely.
world.
And join any of the Unique Ladies networking groups.
See us.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us and talking all about Unique Ladies. So let's hope, fingers crossed, everything goes great for next year. I'm sure it will. And that you smash your 20.
Absolutely.
Woohoo! And there we are. Suzy and Julie out.